Hello, class, and all my viewers out there. I am here to give you a report on this chapter 5, classroom management. How does the lack of a classroom management training impact students in early childhood classrooms? The main issue that's stated here in the book, it's telling you that in childhood classrooms, they're becoming more and more diverse, by the year. So they're making classroom management has become a lot more difficult throughout the years. And, it's become a significant issue in relation to how teachers can manage the disruptive behaviors. Early childhood classrooms are what they say the first chance that a child has an opportunity to learn routines. And I think that's a big thing because when your child is starting to grow up, you can learn what you want to learn at home. But then when you get into a classroom setting, when your parents aren't around, it's a whole different type of atmosphere. So this is where teachers have to know what to do and how to handle a situation, what works best for the students. So it's a little rough, for the early childhood teachers. One of the things that they say, it's very, imperative that the child's first experience is dealt with and handled with discipline. That's a big thing that a lot of people are forgetting. They kind of just roll the ball out there or slide it under the rug, but they don't understand the importance of the discipline that is needed for a child to be able to handle the structure that they're in or be able to enforce the rules that are being applied to an everyday schooling. One thing is, learning how to use, there's millions and millions, there's different strategies that you can use each student. And I think it's just knowing whatever student personally, because if you know your student, you know what works best for them. Because not everybody learns the same and not everybody is attentive to the same things. So you as a teacher, you have to adapt to what is right, what is better to use for that specific student. I chose this topic because this was one of the things that when I was a teacher, I had to enforce a lot, and it was difficult understanding the rules for the place that I was teaching at, because I felt like my understanding might have helped out a lot more. And even now, being a coach, these are things that you have to learn how to do on a daily basis, is managing students or managing young men or women on a daily basis on just life lessons or whatever sport that we're doing. Those are crucial because even doing things during the sport, it helps you with stuff that's going on in real life. So we're at a crucial part being a coach in people's lives to help them succeed and be better people than what they were when they leave from here. One of the pros that I see is having the ability to have training. I think that is a huge thing because if you are trained properly, then you know how to handle situations. Now, I think that's also a negative because you can be trained as much as you want. They can train you for whatever, but the training does not exemplify a true situation or certain situations. I can train you how to drink water, but I can't train you how to. Or if I didn't train you and you walked down to the pond and you drank water on your own, I didn't train you that, but you learn on your own. So it's different in a sense, and it's tough because I think it's a positive to be able to train people on how to handle these situations, but then it's a negative because you can train them and they can never be prepared for other situations that are going on. Another positive that I have is, having the opportunity to learn about our students. If you take the time to learn about the students, then I think that it will tremendously benefit you in helping and dealing with those, the school policies, anything that it has to do with them possibly breaking the rules. I think you being a full-time teacher and taking everything into account, you'll have the ability to help benefit the student tremendously because they'll listen to you. They trust you a lot more than they would the regular teacher. Now, negative number 2, because that also can have a negative on the flip side. You might have gotten to know a student, you might have taken your time doing that, but at the same time, a student can, mess things up for you because all they want to do is take advantage of you, take advantage of your kindness, take advantage of you helping them So that's, it's a tough thing to deal with. It's a tough thing to try to figure out the difference. But ultimately, as an educator, we need to know the difference and set certain boundaries. And although that may affect the student, we got to do what's right for us and then help them. Another negative is, how do these type of students affect schools? They affect schools a lot because you end up getting things broken, you get things stolen, these are things that are very important, and they're things that you cannot do when you're growing up. So for a student to get away with things like that it says something about us, but that's not the case. So it affects schools, it can be a negative thing, with all of this as well. So another positive is the ability for teachers to be kept again as a teacher. So the reason I say that's a positive in the early childhood is because as a student, you might not get to know this student 3-4 years, in the months that you are in school. It might be tough to learn the whole student's life and learn about them. But if you have the student, they kept you around as a teacher, and you have the student again, you would by then know what works best for them. It's easier for them because nothing has to change in their lives. So that's something to also think about, is being able to be kept in as a teacher in the same school and not change it, because you have the same students relatively. Then I believe that will help out tremendously, because you already know what's going on, you know who needs help and stuff like that. The next thing I want to talk about is another positive is communication. And communication is a big, big thing. Now, I'm not saying that every time a student acts out, you need to run to their parents. Because me personally, I've had to deal with stuff like that before with my dad. But I do think you need to give the kids an opportunity to grow and understand what they're doing, why what they're doing is incorrect and stuff like that. So I think there's a positive in that, because it builds a better relationship between, teacher, administration, and parent, to gain an understanding of what their kid has going on at school, and if there's things that could be done at home that could help, or you can give us some tips for things that need to be done here at the school. Another positive about, dealing with this type of behavior, there's many, many approaches. And like it was said previously, use your imagination. Use what's worked best for you. I think you use the training and everything that you learned first, but if that's not getting you anywhere, then use what's best for you. Use what works, what you can flourish in the absolute most, and what gets to the student the best. Because that's, at the end of the day, they're going to be the ones that needs to pass. Not you, but them. Here's another positive and negative. Positive is this has a huge impact on student needs. So the positive side of it is that you can get the help that you need. Now, the negative side is there are some people that have IEPs and stuff like that, all because a teacher couldn't handle what's going on in the classroom. So a teacher doesn't like him, throw him to ISS. He needs an IEP, get him tested for all of that. So I don't think that is a good thing. I think a myth, this is just teachers talking about they know everything. And they know how to handle every situation, or students acting up and they tell a student, I've been through this before, I've done this before, when they haven't. And that might be a myth, but that's also a fact. I think being honest and being genuine will get you a long way, more than lying to even your students. There's no need to lie to them. You just need to talk to them and give them a better understanding as to why they are thinking the way they're thinking, and whatever it is, whatever they're doing. So I just want to thank you and tell you I appreciate you taking this time to listen to my report here today. All the information that I got, I used, it's not going to show, but the book Contemporary Issues in Special Education, and that's where I got all my information from. So thank you again. Best of luck to you all. Look forward to talking to you all soon.